All right. All right. Good evening on this Wednesday. There's a glare on my glasses, so I'm trying to I know it's my lighting. It's been on my heart to start a Wednesday night series. And what's been happening most weeks is that I forget it's Wednesday and then I wake up on Thursday like, "Oh, didn't do it again." I don't know why I haven't set a reminder yet in my phone. But nevertheless, today is the day I'm starting, and I was wrestling with topics because what happens is I tend to get like really great thoughts, and I can't get the glare. There we go. Really great thoughts and inspiration at time, and then when I'm ready to do the live, like I don't have the same like energy or spirit, etc. So today was the day, regardless, and this is not going to be as organized and tight as I hope that the future lives are, but I definitely have the theme because a lot of the thoughts that I've been having all come together into this one idea of this one idea around designing a life that you love. I actually have it on my wall, and I had this quote for years. She designed a life that she loved. And I looked at this quote every day when I had a life that I didn't love. And I just kept trying to figure out a way to design a life that I loved without changing the old life I had. Um, and so that's where I'm going to start tonight. And we'll see if maybe 2 episodes in April, we're talking about changing your current life. And then the last few episodes maybe are about, how to start creating the new one because you can't get the new when you're dealing with the old. I hope that's clear now. I'm going to take these off for a little bit. See my, I don't have, let me tell you guys the truth because I strive for authenticity. My eyes look tired because I am sleepy, and I didn't feel like putting any concealer on because I'm not a constant makeup girly. I'm not into the whole beat face all the time, which is going to come up during the series because a part of the reason why you can't get to a life you love is because you're not being authentic with yourself, okay? And you're still trying to conform in certain ways, and it's making you miserable. Didn't even know that was going to come out tonight, but that's a big part of it. And so, I even though I do need these glasses now at age 52, I'll be 53 in July. Um, I do need these, but not when I'm staring at a screen like this. Sometimes I just use them because I think I look cuter. So, um, the quote came to me years ago. I saw it somewhere. I'm very big on words, affirmations. Um, it just means a lot to me. And there's power in the tongue. We birth things with our mouths, and we don't take it seriously enough. And so for me, I can hear the same thing phrased differently and it just hits. And so I use affirmations like all over my home. I have posters and cards, different things just on the wall that speak to me all the time. And that was one of them. She designed a life that she loved. And I really used to fantasize staring at that phrase all the time. I just did not realize the cost. Um, I remember one of my clients, when I had the rebirth program, said to me, I don't think I said it. I think somebody else in the group said, your new life will cost you your old one. Oh, right? That's another one. Your new life will cost you your old one. And the other phrase, and I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to get up, but I have my father's Bible in here somewhere in this room. And this is my most treasured non human possession. Like, After my kids, the Bible is right there. And I've had it since he passed. My father passed away in 2008, June 30th. He was my nucleus, he was my earth. That was a long time ago. I could still cry if I talked about it for too long. But I have his Bible. He had a lot of Bibles, but the one that he wrote in the most, it's very weathered. It's going to be passed on to my son when he's mature enough to have it. I've been showing it to him since he was very little. My father used to make all kinds of notes in this Bible, and he would also write like sermon titles throughout the Bible. And one of the titles he wrote was, "He got what he wanted, but lost what he had." I'm going to take a sip of water on that. He got what he wanted, but lost what he had. That's exactly what's happened to me in the past 2.5 years. I got what I wanted and I lost what I had. It's not always a bad thing. And then there are moments that are absolutely terrible. Um, and there are moments when and this is not about divorce, any type of major life change, there are going to be both sides. But for whatever reason, we hear other people who've accomplished these great things and they'll say things like, it was hard, but I made it. And we know it's going to be hard. But then when the hard comes, we're either tempted to quit right away. We want to like crawl under a rock. We want to run from it. But man, that hard part, that middle part, that's what makes you, that's what makes the after so joyful. And when we run from that part, sometimes we give up and we didn't even get to the other side. And there's another uh, story that I have heard that made me realize something around the same thing. It was in a sermon by Pastor Wesley Knight, and he was talking about Peter on the water. Anybody with a Christian background would remember this, that he walked towards Jesus on the water when Jesus beckoned him, and then when he turned around, he fell right into the water and started drowning, or etc. And what Pastor Knight said is he didn't have enough faith for both sides of that journey. He didn't have enough faith for both sides. He only had enough faith to get over there. He didn't have enough faith to get back. And that hit me because, first of all, how do you build enough? How do you build enough faith? How do you say, oh, I know I need to make this major life change? It could be ending a relationship. It could be quitting a job in an uncertain environment. It could be moving cross country or leaving the country, or any major life change. It really should just be about you, not about other people around you, but any major life change that you have. How do you get enough faith for the journey? Right. And that's not a question that I can answer. And part of that is because I'm a leaper. I'm the type that tends to just leap. And I didn't think that I was like that, because I will spend, well, I'll put it this way. I'll spend a lot of time in thought over something. And then when I make the decision, I'm out. I just leave. I'm a leaver. But I take lots of time in advance, and I give lots and lots of way too many chances. Again, not talking about relationships. How you do something in one area of your life, if you really took the time to write it all down and document it, how you're doing something in one area is you're repeating, your pattern is the same. This is true for me. I've done the same thing in my career. I can be a leaver. Um, and sometimes I've left companies and it got good after I left, or I would have been promoted in a major way had I stayed, or different things like that. Right. And so in recent years, what was part of what happened is the jumping that I used to do, then I got fearful because of some bad jumping I did. And I stayed in places too long, because I didn't want to end up like I had before, right? Well, I'm on a new plane now, and I have a much stronger level of discernment. I feel like the Holy Spirit talks to me and directs what I'm doing. And so I don't have the same fear about jumping. I wait for a really settled nervous system and feeling of certainty, and then I make a move from there. So you got to figure out what works for you. Um, but your new life is going to cost you your old. Hold on, I got to pop up. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Um, you can get what you want, but you're going to lose what you had. You didn't lose what you had. And I find that for a lot of people, it's the fear of the worst case scenario that will keep them in bondage in some in an environment where they're just absolutely miserable. But I don't know what's out there. I know what's in here, right? And folks will prey upon that, whether it is a job or a relationship or anything like that. They'll prey upon your need for that same sense of security, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really an individual decision whenever you decide that you want to make a major life change. But the thing is, just the fact that you feel that unrest is a sign that you need to be doing something different, because not everybody has that feeling. Some people are happy and they're settled in their life and the way everything is right now, and they're great. That's not who I'm talking about, though. I'm talking to you, okay? You wake up every day knowing this ain't right. I'm not in the right place. Your body will tell you. You can even start to get an illness or get sick or just in general feel unwell because you're simply doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, and your body knows that. And so, hey, Karen. Oh, thank you for watching, dear. I won't be before you long. Um, I have known for years that fear is the greatest monster. False expectations appearing real. You think it's real, but it's not. And listen, you can survive anything but death. How do I know? Because I've been there. Okay. My dear friend who joined has been in the same home since we met. How many addresses have you come to visit me at, Karen? I've taken a lot of risks. I've taken a lot of chances, and while the chances that I've taken have been costly, and I wish that I had done certain things differently, I can't look back at any of it and say, "Oh, why did I do that thing?" Though, I really regret that thing because I got so many lessons. And it was the right coaching, I'll use that term, spiritual process that I went through that showed me I haven't made any mistakes. I've just learned lessons, but I haven't made any mistakes. Nothing I've done was a mistake. Even the most shameful thing that I would never say on a live wasn't a mistake. It was a lesson. And I think that the real mistake is not realizing this is a lesson. How can I learn from this? What can I take? What is this here to teach me that I can use to design a life I love moving forward? So I don't have a lot of deep thoughts for tonight. I would encourage you to document, what does this life look like that you're designing that you love? What does it look like? Um, Write it down. Look at it all the time. You can't just write this and put it away somewhere. You need to spend time thinking about it. And it could be anything. It could be, living like debt free. I was just thinking the other day, Karen, you'll love this if you're still there. No, yesterday and today I've been thinking, I don't I don't want to work anymore. Listen to me. I want $10,000 a month in income, but I don't want to have to work a job. And let me tell you what's weird about this thought. This might make sense to a half a person who watches this. This is not a new thought. There's a lot of people who do this. There's people on the internet all day long who talk about how you can make all this money. You're not doing X, Y, and Z, right? But when I had this thought, it didn't feel old. It felt new. It felt certain. It felt like it's going to happen. And now I believe it. It's just like that. And I'm putting it out here on the live so that when it happens, I can tell you. I am creating my own soft life, ladies. People are on the internet talking about that all the time. I desire the soft life. I desire to do things with ease. I desire to do less, but still have all the same things. And I believe I can accomplish it. And I don't need a click funnel or to pay thousands of dollars for somebody's program. I just need to get in the flow with the blessings that are already mine, that are already coming my way. And then when I need to get my belief system together, because this is the core part that a lot of you are missing. I need to get my belief system together so that as opportunities come towards me, I say, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll take that. Some of you don't have what you want because every time it's presented to you, you reject it. I'm not good enough. That's not for me. I'm not great at that. Oh, I wish I could do that. All of that is why you don't have the life that you love. You don't think you deserve it. Why would you get it? Live there for years. And now I say to God, bring it back. When you bring it back the next time, I will know what to do because I have the evidence in my life where I have made certain prayers and declarations and things have come to pass. I'd be on here all night giving you guys examples of that, but you have not because you don't believe that you should. You don't believe you should. You don't believe you can. You don't trust yourself at all. Some of the programming, including religious programming you've heard for years, has left you in a place where you don't really trust yourself anymore. You don't even know. Let me tell you something. If this was a Zoom room and I had a room full of women on this Zoom and I asked them, what are you good at? And I'm talking about women my age, 52. You could make it to age 52 years old and still not really know what you're good at, what your strengths are, or be able to say it with your chest. I'm great at this. These are my skills. I enjoy this. Here's the value that I bring to the world. We don't know. And part of the reason why women don't know is because we spend so much time taking care of everyone else. Mm-hmm. All your time and energy goes to prioritizing everyone else but yourself. Why? Because to look at myself is selfish. It's selfish. And so you think self-care is just going to get your nails done or getting a massage every now and then. Self-care is putting yourself first all the time and not feeling guilty about it. And I still have a little bit of work to do in this area. You don't have to tell everybody in the house that you're taking care of yourself and you're doing self-care. It's a lifestyle. So you're doing it all the time. And guess what? When you take care of yourself, you're so much more replenished to take care of everyone else. But it takes time to work through that guilt and obligation. Okay. I have a hot flash incoming. Listen, quick sidebar. I was at the barber today and all of us, hot flash was coming on. All of a sudden, I feel a gentle breeze and he turned the fan on. And I didn't say anything at first. And then I said, oh, thank you so much for that fan. He said, yeah. He said, I was cutting over here. And I said, man, her scalp is hot. I said, yes. It's a hot flash. Sometimes they're better than others, but they've been bad lately. So, but anyway, that's what we're going to talk about for the month of April is, how can you design a life you love? And the first assignment for you to do is figure out what does that life look like? What does that life look like? And I'm going to give you some of mine. I love my life right now. It's been painful getting here, but I love my life right now. So the next part of designing a life that I love is I don't have all these bills. I don't have all this debt. Eventually I would love to find my life partner. Had a wonderful dating experience that I closed out in 2024 because I want to be loved differently. I wouldn't say he did anything wrong. He's a wonderful guy. I owe him a text message right now, so it was beautiful for me to be able to have a positive, healthy relationship where I felt respected, where I did not feel objectified in the slightest. That was new for me. So many things. But ultimately, we just aren't rowing in the same direction, right? And so eventually I do see myself with a life partner. I am not going to be one of those women who's bitter or buys into this whole all these stereotypes about what type of men are available. I don't care about any of that. I know what is for me, and so that's all I'm focusing on. So that's a part of it, but the biggest part is just not having any debt. I would love to have more land than what I have right now. I'm thinking about things like homesteading. Like my thoughts are in very different directions, but whatever it is that you want for yourself, you can have but you're going to have to give up some stuff. And for some people, it's as simple as give up some sleep, start getting up earlier. That changed my year a lot. Not sleeping so much, which I realized I was doing as a sometimes I've done it in my life out of depression. In my marriage, I spent most of my time in the bed, most of my time just laying in the bed. And I watched a ton of TV. It's a strange thing. I watched a ton of TV and I was in the bed often. And since I've been single, no, it's very rare. I don't watch as much TV. I'm not in the bed as often. And it happened and I wasn't even aware of it. Um, but that sleeping in is killing a lot of dreams, okay? Because there's so much thinking that you can do in the morning, if nothing else. So start thinking about what this life that you love looks like. And you don't have to share this with anybody because there may be some hard choices that some of you need to make. And again, I've talked about my divorce over and over on the Sunday show. And so I don't want anybody to think that everything I'm saying is about marriage or a relationship, etc. Because again, how you show up in one area often shows up in different parts of your life. And some people are tied down with other family things that don't have anything necessarily to do with a partner. Adult children can be a massive adult children can be a massive stressor. Just going to plant that and leave it right there. You got to design a life you love, right? The episode we did on boundaries, some of you need to go to my YouTube channel and check out that episode on boundaries because you cannot design a life you love without boundaries. It's not going to work. I was 50 before I realized I didn't have any boundaries. So don't feel bad if you come to the revelation late in life that you struggle with boundaries or approval addiction, which is another one of my things. I heard people talk about approval addiction all the time, didn't know I had it, you know? But the boundaries, I thought I had boundaries until I started making changes in my life and making myself less available and showing up differently, and people had an issue with it. That's when I realized I had no boundaries in those areas. And these people were upset because they weren't benefiting anymore by the boundaries that didn't exist before. All of a sudden, I wasn't just willing to die on the cross every day for everybody. And so I was called selfish and ignored. And, it just created its own waterfall, of things. And so boundaries is going to be a big part of it. And now I choose myself. One of the new things I'm doing this year, every year since my divorce, I've had kind of like a theme. And this year for me, it's just about wholeness. Even this white in my hair, this is intentional. So my first year, I wore pink. 2023, I had pink in my hair intentionally. To lean into my femininity more because in my marriage, I was in the masculine all the time. Not because I wanted to be, that's just how it was. That's not today's story, but I was in the masculine and I knew it. And I wanted to rest in my feminine energy intentionally. And I wanted the reminder. And so I surrounded myself with a lot of pink things. I wore a lot of pink. I had pink in my hair, all these things. Goal accomplished. Last year was my money year, abundance. And so I wore a lot of green in my hair until almost the end of the year. Did I manifest all the abundance? It depends on how you look at it. There's some lessons learned. There's some things I could have tweaked. Now I'm in a phase of completion. And what's interesting about this third year of my rebirth, because I'm just any of my girlfriends can tell you I'm a totally different person than I used to be. But in this year, it's about completion. For those who believe in numerology, I'm on the fence. I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I don't, but some things make sense. 2025 equals 9. 9 is the number of completion. And I think that's, some people say 7 is. Okay, stay on track, Cara. But anyway, this is the year for me to finish things. And 2023 and 2024, I was exhausted all the time. Very, very sleepy. I was doing just the basics, really. I didn't feel depressed or anything. I woke up every day happy and full of joy, but I wasn't handling any of the business in my life. I was only doing what I had to do to survive every day, every week, every month with my bills, uh, running tight all the time, not really being uh, frugal or wise at all. And I actually had to forgive myself and say, it's okay. You know, you've had like 20 plus decades of taking care of other people. It's okay to rest. And I would get frustrated because I felt like I should be doing more. But January 1st this year, I woke up with new energy, and I've just been firing on all cylinders all the time, getting all types of household projects work done. I mean, paying my bills on time. The basic adulting that I did well for years, and I would just lay around and think, why can't I get it together? When I would stay on it before and just wasn't doing anything, and I think my soul was tired. I just think my whole soul was tired because now I'm in a totally different place. I just finished like clearing out my garage and major decluttering in the kitchen, and I'm off work all next week. So I'm clearing out my shed. I was just out there looking at some things. I'm going to start a garden. I am taking care of some of my other like financial business that I'd ignored, but I'm not pushing myself. This is the net. It's coming from inside, right? Which is another thing that I've learned about getting in the flow of what's going on, so that it doesn't feel like you're pushing yourself so much. You're moving forward with ease in a targeted direction, and that's where I'm at now. And so this year, I just have to complete things. I just need to finish what I start. That's one part of it, is completion. The other part of it is do what you love, Cara, is what I told myself. Get into my interests this year. Date myself. Do the things I want to do. Go where I want to go. Thank goodness I'm a solo dolo. I don't need company. I don't need anybody around for me to feel comfortable doing things. Can't even get into that today because I don't want to be on here that long. But that's another thing that holds people back, is you need company to do everything. I don't think it's healthy, but I also am so good at minding my business these days, and I like it here. I just don't, 10 out of 10 don't recommend it. Um, and so for me, it's been about exploring my interests. And some of you may have seen me posting lately on the hiking that I've been doing and being out in nature more. It's like I was explaining to a girlfriend of mine today. This feels like a departure for most people who've known me. My mother's not surprised at all. I grew up on 6 acres in the country of Missouri. I used to lay in the woods all day long. I would sleep outside. All my childhood memories are tied up in trees. This just tied up in nature, staring at the mountains. Well, they weren't mountains like Georgia mountains, but it was little Missouri mountains. And I remember I would just lay on the trampoline and look and say, I wonder what's out there. So it's no wonder to me that now I'm so much of a traveler and all of those things. And so in February, I was on the phone with a girlfriend who was talking about, not having a lot of friends in her area and being kind of sad about it. And I said to her, you should get out there, join some groups that based on things you're interested in, and get out there. And when I got off of the phone, it was like the Holy Spirit said to me, why don't you get out there? Why aren't you, doing, you love nature trails. You're driving by them all the time looking, but that's not something that you want to do solo all the time, right? At least without proper weaponry, which I don't, I'm working on building up. I have more than I had, but I need a few more things. And so after that, I don't know what happened, but I looked up a hiking group and I joined this group called Black Hikers Unite. I just felt like in this climate, I would feel safer in an environment where people looked like me. And so I joined Black Hikers Unite. That put me into there's a chat associated with that. And I was like immediately in. I don't even know what it was. Again, it was this force pushing me in this direction. I joined a hiking group, started going out every weekend. I got the socks and shoes she told me about immediately. I went out that very weekend and went nearly every weekend since then. I've been hiking. It's taken over my life. I plan my life around these hikes. And that led to a backpacking trip. And let me show you this. We're going to talk about the comfort zone. I'm going to show you this right now. And I'm going to explain what it is in a second. All right. As I begin to land the plane on this chat. Um, I joined this group hiking, didn't know anybody. I didn't ask a friend of mine, hey girl, come with me. I'm going hiking. Please come with me. I don't know anybody there. Ladies, we're getting too old for that. If why would you want to force your friend? That's not her interest. Like, don't ask me to come to a sip and paint because I'm not doing it. I don't like sip and paint. And that's the other thing. I'm not doing anything this year that I don't want to do. If people invite me to things and I don't want to go, I'm not going. I love myself too much for that. I have more years behind me than in front of me. I'm not going to spend my time doing things that I don't legit enjoy. Now, if it's your birthday, I'll be there. But if it's not some type of mandatory special milestone occasion, I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do because I've spent years doing what I didn't want to do to please other people or make their world go round or whatever. That's over. And so I got into the hiking. And then when they said they were having backpacking, I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do that. And my when I was married, he was very much into outdoorsy stuff, as was I. But when you don't have a good friendship between the two of you, why would you want to go sit in the woods together alone? You don't, right? I don't even know if we, who knows if we both would have come out. But my point is, initially when I was preparing for the backpacking trip, some of that was triggering for me. And even being out there, I had to manage my triggers a little bit. It was another like, oh wow, this could have been something that we could have shared together. I had to bring myself back to reality with that because I was just spending just a touch on it. But it was always my interest as well. I love nature. But then like a week before the trip, so we did this meetup and we set up our tents together and everything. And I posted on that. But after that, and then the week leading up to it, I just started getting really nervous, y'all. Not about anything bad happening to me, just more about my personality. Like if I get out there, I was getting stressed because I'm not a tight packer. I will road trip over fly just so I can take everything I possibly want in the car and I don't have to worry about TSA and my liquids. I put that much thought into it. And so trying to get all of the items that I feel I want and need into a pack that I would be carrying. This is not your backpacking. Everything you need is in this backpack. And I was on my second sleeping bag because the first one didn't work. Some of the stuff was expensive. I'm spending tons of money that I feel like part of me's feeling guilty. I should be doing these other things. And so I finally just was, by Friday, I was really stressed all through the week. Friday morning, one of the other girls, well, she's a younger woman, sent me a message and said, hey, how are you feeling about tomorrow? And I was like, oh, I'm cool. And she said, I'm thinking about driving up tonight and getting a hotel. And it was 2 hours away, Helen, Georgia. And as soon as she said that, I went on Hotel Tonight. Baby, that's the only app I use for travel. And I looked at Hotel Tonight and it said $80 to stay at a lodge that I've stayed at before in Helen. So I already know how it is. And I sent it to her and she was like, bet. She booked it. I Apple paid her the money right away. Mind you, I don't know her. Okay. We've been on 2 hikes together, but I read energy. Some people say that and it ain't really happening, but I know what I'm doing. And so that eased my comfort a lot because we had the meetup was 6:45 in the morning and this was 2 hours from me. So I would have needed to leave home at 4:30. Leave home at 4:30. Leave home. Okay. So basically no sleep. And so, but I took my time getting up there that night so I could be fully packed. And from the minute I got into Helen, which by the way is beautiful. So many people in Atlanta just never really go anywhere, barely go to the metro area, much less all these beautiful surrounding parts of Georgia. What are you doing? Get your calendar out. Book yourself something. It's a 2-hour drive. And there's some nice places up there now. Check the reviews though, because some of them are dated. But Helen is a beautiful little town. Um, I mean, my whole nervous system relaxes as soon as I see all the German inspired buildings. It's like Oktoberfest there all the time. So, I mean, the food can be okay. I might take my own food, another time there. But anyway, everything was good from there. Everything was good from there. I went in the hotel room and crashed out immediately. And the next morning, she and I were able to get up at like 5:30, 5:45, repack our bags and make it to the site, which we actually got lost. It was pitch black. We went too far. It was an adventure. But I got out of my comfort zone. And now we're back to this. So I can land the plane on this. This is one of the items that was on the list for ladies to purchase, and it is a female urinal. This is actually an attachment, right? Because if you're camping, you're peeing outside, okay? Which you don't really even need this for. You can squat, but this was helpful in the tent overnight, so that and then you attach like an empty old water bottle to the bottom, and just kind of stand up and go to the bathroom. No mess. I'm gonna get a second one for my car because I don't mind. I'm very bougie. I am, but I never want to get so bougie that I can't rough it when I need to. And so listen, it's a sense of adventure. And the adventure part of it got my juices flowing. Okay. So it might not be camping for you. Pretty much every girlfriend I had would have been absolutely miserable. And there weren't even any bugs. There were no bugs. And I'm so grateful. So that's where I want to end this today, y'all. And listen, had I forced or tried to beg one of my friends to come with me, I would have had to manage them the entire time because it wasn't their jam, it was mine. So when you think about designing a life you love, that is the point. What do you love? What do you love? Not what do other people think you should be doing or even considering them. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you're not going to take care of them or look after them. But you got to take some time thinking about yourself. And guess what? Again, you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to tell them all. I'm here for me, and I'm going to design a life I love for me. Just keep it in here. Keep it in here. All right. So we come back next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be under the same topic. But in the meantime, start thinking about what would it look like to have a life you loved. Look at yourself. When you close your eyes, look at yourself. Think about yourself. Go back to your childhood. What did you always want to do with your time? What things did you really enjoy? If you didn't care about what society thought or what your friends group was doing or what else was going on. And then you can start to work on what's blocking me from just doing that thing. What are those things that are blocking me from it? Okay. Now we're going to close with some breath work. But listen, you don't have to do anything I've said. Okay. But if you're not going to do anything that I've said, do the people around you a favor and stop complaining. Stop complaining about your life, what you don't like, what's not working. It's a waste of your breath. And every breath that you exhale, baby, it's not coming back. It's gone. And you owe it to yourself to do what you were created to do. And part of that requires you to tap into yourself and design the life that you love. You can do that and accomplish your purpose at the same time. Okay. So we're going to do some breath work here. I was going to pull one of these journey cards. Oh, this came up accidentally. We're going to close with this. Doubt. It says, I release the need to know all of the answers. And pull up the reading that goes with it. And now I have a reason to put these glasses on. Okay, doubt. It is impossible for the human brain to comprehend the mysteries of the universe. You are only consciously aware of the 3 dimensions for a reason. Don't have time to explain what that means. And that is to learn to love without the full awareness of your connection to spirit, God, creator, source, whatever it is that you believe in. Everyone has his or her own path, personal path to this awareness, which is that connection. And there is no right or wrong answer as long as your goal is to manifest the energy of love and compassion. The wisdom of God trickles into the physical dimension. That's what we feel all the time. And some of it will resonate with your soul, and some of it will not. These are your signposts that guide you to your correct path. If the wisdom resonates with you and seems right, then keep it. If not, release it back. Always be aware and mindful of the insights that your spirit guides and teachers put on your path. So I'm going to take that and add on to that and say, if you're dealing with doubt and fear, you can always use quick prayers. Like one of my favorites is, Holy Spirit, show me what I need to see. That's it. And I will pray that over and over again. Show me what I need to see. Show me what I need to see. Help me see. What am I not seeing? Very simply. Give me some direction and guidance. You don't have to be laid out on the floor. You don't have to do a 20-minute prayer. Holy Spirit, show me what I need to see. And it could be something as simple as me seeing a word somewhere, or reaching for a card and pulling something like this that says doubt. I release the need to know all of the answers. Because that's also tied to control, by the way. It's also tied to control. You're trying to control every single little thing. And because you're so busy trying to control every single thing, the fear and the control go hand in hand. It leads to doubt, and it takes you further and further and further away from designing a life that you absolutely love. There's freedom in letting go. And so keep those thoughts in mind, and we're going to do a breath. All right. I use breath work on every show on Sunday. It helps whatever has been shared just to kind of land within you. And as we do this breath, I want you to allow yourself to be completely free of any judgment that you have towards yourself. Just for this moment, forgive yourself for anything that you still consider a mistake. Even though at the beginning of this, I said there are no mistakes, there's only lessons. You still have regret. You still feel that these things were a mistake. I'm asking you during this breath to just release all of that and envision a life that you love. So, what are you doing? What are you wearing? What's around you? All of those thoughts are okay. Any thought that doesn't have anything to do with that, I want you to just kind of push it away. Control your mind and think about something else, and bring that in and say, this is what I'm choosing to think about. Remember, this is yours. You control this. So all these random thoughts that are running around all day, you can silence that at any moment in time by fixing your mind on something different. Okay. And so you're going to do that during this breath work. And we're going to do 3 breaths, box breaths. 4, inhale for 4, hold for 4, let it go. We'll relax in between each breath. Make sure that your spine is erect. You don't want to be slouched. You don't want to be like this, not like this, like I was sitting earlier. Your eyelids are together to help you concentrate. Some people can do a focal point of some kind. Most just choose to close their eyelids completely. Also, having your spine erect will keep you from feeling sleepy, gives you something else to focus on. It's late at night. If you're getting tired, that's going to make you want to do more of this. So make sure that you're sitting up erect. And you'll just relax. This part is so important. Stop thinking about your to-do list, ladies. I see you out there thinking about the next thing. Guess what? It is still going to be there. But this moment is for you. Part of the reason why you don't have the life that you love is because you don't take enough time to slow down and breathe. You're always on to the next thing. And right now, I'm asking you to calm down, calm your body down. Stop thinking about who wants something from you, or something you forgot to do or should have done. All of that will come back to you. Your spine is erect, but your body is relaxed. Your feet are on the floor. Your legs aren't crossed. Resting your hands on your thighs, relaxing your shoulders. We're gonna breathe soon. We're gonna do it. But I want you to calm down first. I want you to stop being distracted. If you're fussing at somebody, close the door, put them on the other side of the door so you can recenter. This is for you. You have no idea what clarity could come to you after 3 controlled, relaxed breaths. You just cannot imagine it. Remember, all of your thoughts during this time are visualizing a life that you absolutely love. We're visualizing a life that you absolutely love. Just relax. And inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. And relax. Exhaling through your mouth. Relax. Only thoughts are of you, your future self, the life that you love. Waking up every day with joy, even on the days that aren't preferred. All right, let's do the second breath. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. Slow, slow, slow. And relax. Keep your thoughts, control your thoughts, push those other thoughts away. They have nothing to do with what we're doing right now. Control your mind. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Relax. Relax. We're not solving for anything right now. We're just visualizing. The harder this is for you, the more you need to practice this. You can get it, but you need to practice. For this last breath, I'm going to tell you when to inhale, but I'm going to do the breath with you, so I won't be counting. Okay, you will inhale for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale through your mouth slowly. Relax your belly, shoulders, spine is erect. See, mine dipped a little bit. Relax your tongue in your mouth. And we're inhaling. And we're going to open our eyelids. All right. Listen, that changes everything. You see how my tone, my voice has changed? Don't underestimate the power of some really good breath work. And you can start your day with that. It's a lot of things you can start your day with, and I may share some of those things down the road. But definitely, whenever you can, start your day with some breath work. If your home is a stressful place for you right now, when you get home, if you commute every day, stay in your car for a few minutes and do some breath work to help you transition from the car to coming in the home. When you get to work, maybe do some breath work before you go in to the office. You can find YouTube videos that will support you on this as well, but you can also just do it yourself. I will see you next Wednesday evening. Well, I'll see you first on Sunday. Hope to see you for Sunday's show at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know our topic yet. But we will still be there. It will still be entertaining. You can go to my YouTube channel anytime. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you are sharing these videos and telling people about it. Be spirit led. You never know who needs this information. And I'll see you back again next Wednesday. We'll be continuing the theme of how to design a life you absolutely love. But your assignment from now until then is to start thinking about what that looks like. No barriers, no fears, no sharing with anyone, just within yourself. Push past the fear. If you could create a life that you loved every single day, what would it look like? Okay. All right. I wish you all well. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and talk soon.